Hi, this arrived in the post today. I ordered a Raspberry Pi back in July, and now it's November and it's finally arrived. So a couple of months late, but never mind. Now I'm assuming this is a Raspberry Pi. I haven't opened it or anything yet. I've only scribbled over my address details so my stalker fans don't come after me with axes. And so let's have a look anyway. So this is never before opened before. Now this is supposed to be revision 2. They sent me an email saying they got a bunch of new boards in, so this is the second revision one, I hope. So I thought it was going to be something completely different and I'm going to be horribly embarrassed or just never show this video. So there we go. So what have we got here? We have a little pink case. That's interesting. So you got a little pink case. It's not what I expected. I have to admit, I expected a cardboard thing, but I'm not getting a cardboard thing. I'm getting a little pink case thing. So I don't know if I'm supposed to use the Pi in that or not. So anyway, so that's so I've got security seals and security seals. Let's open this again. Oh, my cat's showing interest now. He's approaching. Oh, how do I open this thing now? There we go. So I have to pull that forward. So, oh, this is tiny, isn't it? So there's our Raspberry Pi device, nicely included in a static-proof bag. Let's have a look at the documentation as well. Raspberry Pi compliance and safety information. That's interesting because Raspberry Pi was delayed quite a lot because of I think it was an FCC thing. Anyway, it wasn't certified, so they delayed that for that reason. That's probably ancient history by now. And we've got a little Raspberry Pi guide. Ooh, that's exciting. So, quick start guide. Before you begin, for best results, peripheral setup, micro USB regulated, blah blah blah. Okie dokie. Yeah, that wasn't very interesting. So let's just go back to the main board itself, shall we? So here we go, there's the bottom of the Raspberry Pi. Ooh, exciting, yay! And what have we got here? We've got the pins here for output. We've got an AV connector there. We've got an audio connector there. We've got a couple of USB 2.0 ports. Excuse my cat, he's just attacking a bag of cat food. We've got an Ethernet port there. HDMI out there. And we've got the micro USB, that's the power port. And what else have we got? We've got, I don't think those are connectors, you've got some connectors. I don't think they're connectors, they're just bits of components, I think. So I think that's about it really. So you've got a couple of USB ports, you've got, what's we call it? So this is the revision 2, this is the one with 512 meg of memory rather than the 256, and they've removed a couple of the pins here. I'm trying to look to see if I can actually see that. This camera isn't very good in this light, so I'm just going to stop the video there and go and grab a lamp. Okay, so I've got some light on my nice Raspberry Pi now, so I can actually see what's going on. Hopefully you can a bit better too. Still doesn't focus very well on things this small, I'm afraid, but never mind. So anyway, I'm trying to see again if there's any indication that is what it says it is. Well, I'll probably find out when I load it up. If I load it up. So anyway, there's a Raspberry Pi, and this box is quite interesting. It looks like it's got a little memory card holder there, and it's got a hook and catch there So I'm thinking it fits into the lid like this. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on it, just in case I break the thing. Oh, that thing was in the way, that's why. Okay. So maybe I got it the wrong way around. Yeah, so that just fits in the lid there. So I've got a little flat pack. I imagine that's how it's supposed to work. That's probably why the catch opened in the way it did, is because it's supposed to open like that. That makes sense. So we've got kind of a little box for it there. You know, it's not a case by any by any work of imagination, but it is a box. So the other thing it said in the instructions it needs 700 milliamp USB adapter. I've got a couple of USB adapters here, but they only go up to one. Well, they go all the way up to 1 amp. Now, in theory, it shouldn't draw more than that, so it shouldn't be an issue. So hopefully, I won't end up blowing it up. And I'm just going to check. I've got an old Kindle sync cable because I had a couple of Kindles. I'm going to try that in the power adapter. Whoops, I think that's the right fit. I might be wrong. No. Ah, there we go. It's a very tight fit for some reason. So anyway, that sits there like that, and I'll just plug in my adapter. I should be able to run it directly from the computer, shouldn't I? I'll actually plug it into the USB port on my main desktop now, because I haven't used these power adapters in a while. Ooh, as you can see, the little lights come on. That's cool. So we're getting some kind of power into the system there. Well, there's no burning smell or components flaming, so that's a good sign. So anyway, I'm going to organise myself, and I'll be back with another video to hopefully see this thing working properly. Hi, so this is my Raspberry Pi. I've got 3 operating systems I'm going to try here. I'm going to try the Raspbian Wheezy, which is the one off their website. That's the one they provide as default. I'm going to try RISC-OS, which is something I remember from old Apple days. Not Apple, I mean Acorn. I always get those two mixed up. And I've got a copy of Arch Linux as well. And we're going to give each of them a go, just have a quick look at everything in action. So I'm going to start off by inserting the SD card. That's where you get it in the right way around. So as you can see, I'll put it in the case there. This is the case that comes with it. And to reset it, all I'm going to do is pull out that, put it back in again. Power off, power on. As you can see, the little light is there, and we've got some text on the screen. So this is the HDMI connection. And
everything's loading up. It's right to the edge of the screen. I'll just adjust this slightly so you get that little logo there. I'm afraid I don't have any HDMI recording equipment, so I'm having to do everything the old-fashioned way. Now, I'm not sure what's happened there because it was working a second ago. So this is just a standard HDMI TV, and it suddenly lost the signal for some reason. Power's all there. What's going on? So no HDMI support apparently, even though it was working a couple of seconds ago. I'll try powering it off and on again. So there we go, it's all loading up again. So this is the official distribution. So in text mode everything seems to work just dandy. Okay, seems alright this time. I don't know what happened there. So what we got here, we got, I need to get it closer to the screen because I can't quite read it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is expand rootfs. That basically means, because I flashed the card, or I wrote an image file to the card, the partition is going to be the same size as that image. So if I click on or press expand root partition, that will basically expand it. So so that's now been resized. So once I restart, that will work. So I'm going to restart it again. Could really do with a reset switch on it, to be honest, but I don't see anything like that on it. It's possible I'm just missing it. I've only had the thing an hour or so, and this is the first time actually loading anything up on it. So that should now have been done. The other thing I want to do is set the keyboard layout to UK. I don't know why I typed in UK there, I just did. So I'm just waiting for it to, there we go. So, yeah, generic 105 will do. English, yep. UK. Default for keyboard layout. There's no compose key on this. And terminate the X server, yeah, that might be useful. So this is all going quite well the second time or third time or whatever. We'll set the password as well. And I'm going to be very imaginative here and type in password. Okay. What else is there? It's all to start the desktop on boot. Yes, you should. And we're going to run the updates. So try to upgrade the Raspberry Pi config. So this will now reach out to the network and download a bunch of stuff for me. Just downloading a bunch of stuff. All very exciting. There we go. And that's about all I need to do really, I think. So I'm just going to go finish. And let's try rebooting it, see if it does actually go into the desktop mode. So I won't edit this video, I'll leave it all in there. It'll give you a good idea of the sort of speed you can expect from it. So if you're expecting the system to boot up in 3 seconds, you're going to be woefully disappointed. What's it doing now? The screen's gone blank. Hoping it's, oh yes it is. It's loading the GUI. And there we go. So we now have Linux running on the Raspberry Pi. And we've got a few programs here. This is a big cat head. That's about all I know really. Scratch. What's this? Move 10 steps, turn 15 degrees. Oh, it's like Logo. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember Logo, but I do. It's like controlling the turtle. So how do I actually execute the program? What's set language? Actual language. I was thinking program language, but apparently not. I have no idea how to use this. It's a bit like Basic mixed with Logo, and clearly I have no idea what I'm doing here, so I'll leave that one now and do some research. We'll see what else is on there. Don't say. We got Wi-Fi config if you have a Wi-Fi adapter, which I don't. And I don't know what this big leafy thing is. Oh, looks like a web browser. So they haven't given you Chrome or anything like that. Well, we have internet access, that's good. Let's try Python Games. I want HDMI, so we'll force HDMI, see if we get any sound out of it. Squirrel, eat the smaller squirrels. Okay. Okay, this is weird. So I assume I just got to catch the smaller squirrels without hitting the bigger ones. This is a bit weird. This is like oh, what do you call it? The old Atari 65. Sorry, 2600 or 2600, as most people call it, I'm sure. Not exactly the most advanced graphics in the world, but as a learning exercise for general collision and things. And well, when you think about it, we've got the background there, we've got all the sprites, we've got some logic conditions there. So you know, if squirrel is smaller than this big squirrel, then I think my squirrel might be growing while I'm doing all this. Yes, it is growing. So the more squirrels I eat, the bigger I get. Yeah, there's a bit of logic in this, you know, for kids and things. This will be an interesting little program. So how would I state this? Well, it'd just be a simple if statement, wouldn't it? You'd store the size of the sprite. I don't think there's anything bigger than me now. I think I'm about as big as it's useful to get. So yeah, but yeah, as a learning exercise in logic for a child, this is a pretty fair example, actually. Let's see what else we've got. Slide puzzles, simulate. Let's try 5-block Tetris. Well, that was pointless. Apparently 5-block Tetris doesn't work. No, just exit it. That's no good. Ink spill. Flood the screen with pixels. Woo! I have no idea how to use this. Just It's not drag and drop or anything. Keys don't seem to do anything. So the only problem with examples like this, you need to give the child, I mean, if this was a child using it, they wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I'm 32 and I'm not exactly a stranger to programming, and I have no idea how to use this. You know, my drag and drop isn't working. I'm clicking on various things on the screen. Settings does work. Difficulty, easy, medium, hard, learn programming. Doesn't actually tell you. So am I supposed to sort of match up the blocks or what? Or are these just different styles of blocks? Yeah, it's just different colours. No, I have no idea. That's either not working or it's just incomprehensible. So not very good, that. I think a bit more thought could have gone into these, to be fair. I must be missing something here because I'm hitting keys and, you know. No. These barely seem functional or functional at all to me. So, yeah, that's no good. Not impressed by those. They could have done a lot better. You know, if you can't work out how to play the game, how are you going to learn the logic to that game? Knowing the rules of the game you program is always the first step. So, yeah, not impressed by that. Squirrel one was about the only one that worked. Let's try the Tetris one. They can't mess up Tetris, can they? Same thing, just exit the game. No bloody point in that whatsoever, to be honest. Yeah, that's no good at all. I'm sure there's a trick to it, but again, if you're going to give this to a child, and then you need it to be a little bit more user-friendly, and this isn't. So you've got reference and stuff there. Have you got any interesting programs? All pretty much standard Linux. Very minimalistic. What's Squeak? There are several Squeak images. Choose one. Well, there aren't any, so. Not impressed by this so far. I mean, the Linux operating system is working fine, but I'm not impressed with this distro. I think a lot more work could have gone into it. It feels very haphazard. Okay, let's try another operating system. I'm going to try Arch Linux. See if that's any better. One great thing about this is you can swap whole operating systems just by swapping the SD card. So no complaints about the hardware so far, that's working, apart from that minor hiccup at the beginning. But you know, resetting that. So let's see if this one works. Okay, so there's no easy setup or anything by the look of it. login incorrect. So I'll have to go and look up the password by the look of it. So I've just grabbed my my trusty iPad and I'm now looking up the introduction. So see how easy this is to use. Right. Yeah, it looks a lot more complicated, this one. There's no easy to use GUI, so I might forget this one for a while. I just want to find the password, see what happens after that. Login is root, password is root. Okay, fair enough. I should have guessed that one. Okay, so all we got basically is a command prompt. Looks like a telnet thing, to be honest, or an SSH. Give that screen, changing password, yeah. This one is really in depth, you've got to do everything manually. So that's not user friendly at all. Right, we'll try the other one, the RISC OS, which is the operating system we used to use in my school days, actually. So I was quite interested to try this one. So that's now powered on. Ooh, that's primitive. Not prettier than the other ones. Ooh, that was quick. I like that. Scanning fonts, please wait. Now this actually looks user-friendly. We have sound. Ooh. Getting quite excited now. So yeah, I'm more impressed with this one than I was with the other two. Don't know what its capabilities are, but iPacman, iStore. What's iStore? Cannot find server. Retry. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's got network access. Does it have a browser I can test NetSurf? Looks like Control A doesn't select everything as I expect, so everything's going to be quite different, I expect. Could not resolve host Google. Okay, so first thing I need to do then is work out how to get on the network. Whoops, excuse me, knocking the camera around. So once again on my iPad, RISC OS network. No, I'll just type in internet. So I like that boot up, I must say. Right, RISC OS, no internet. You've got a nice guide there. It doesn't maximise either in the way I expect. So it's quite an alien operating system in the fact that none of the sort of double click on that or It's interesting. Button select. Interesting. All sorts of stats and things. Oh, the hardware works. It's just a matter of getting used to these operating systems, I think. Once I know what I'm doing, I'll start producing some tutorials because other people are like me, really impatient and they don't really bother reading the manuals, so a few videos may not be a bad idea. Now, what attracted me to this is that it uses BBC Basic. And I learned on BBC Basic. It was my first language. Well, the first language was the Atari 400. But the language I started actually doing things on, simple mathematical programs, that kind of stuff, when I was about 7, 8 years old now. That's when I started with all this. But yeah, I started producing useful programs on the BBC Master right up until I was about 14 or so. I think, anyway. Sort of relying on childhood memories isn't always the most accurate thing, but iConfigure, there we go. If I'm having trouble reading the screen because everything's so small, and this is quite a small TV. It's only a 26-inch and everything's in full HD resolution. In fact, I can change that, can't I? Ah. Oh, that's better. I can read things now. Right, configuration, CPU, help, mouse, lock, whatever. Where's the network? Is it a network? There it is. Enable TCP/IP, routing. So do I set all this up manually? I'm not sure. So 25-year-old operating systems. It wouldn't surprise me if... what's AUN? I have no idea what AUN is. I'll just set it anyway. File server, print server. Acorn Universal Networking, okay. See if it works now. Yeah, reset now. I like this boot up process. And it's the sort of thing that will appear more to a child than having command prompts and things. I like Linux, but Linux is not very user friendly, I find. Let's see if it works now. Whoops. Oh, we have internet access. I can't type in the address, but apparently that did it. So that again is a sign of a good operating system in my mind. When you know nothing about it, I'm good with Windows and that kind of thing. When you can just potch around with it and manage to make things work. I haven't actually tested Google yet, but I'll say all this now and it won't work. Yeah, that's good. You know, I managed to turn on the networking. I managed to adjust the resolution. I'm going to take that down a bit more actually. That's because it's reset. Okay. Again, I like that. That's just easy, you know. And that's what you want for learners and people who don't know what they're doing. Don't know how I reorganise the icons, but I may not be able to, or may be able to. That'll come about as I learn. So yeah, I like that. RISC OS is one worth checking out. It's quite fast to load, certainly faster than the other ones. It's very lightweight, and it seems pretty intuitive. Oh, and the browser seems capable. And again, internet is a big thing. Yeah, I mean, I've got a dynamic website there that resizes everything to the window, and that's all working properly. I bet he doesn't have Flash. I'd be very surprised if he had Flash. Let's try YouTube, shall we? Well, this might not be Flash actually. Let's see. It's giving me a warning. Don't want explicit language there. Let's try one of my videos. Oops. I'm not used to this keyboard. It's not perfect, but yeah. It doesn't seem to be playing any videos, so I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. Yeah. That don't surprise me at all. So yeah, but yeah, to be honest, out of all the operating systems so far, from ease of use, and I'm trying to judge this from the point of view of someone very young, don't really know what they're doing, maybe has some Windows experience, and I think they could probably get along with this operating system. If it's improved and updated and things, I think it could be a real contender on the Raspberry Pi OS. Again, it really depends on what software is available for it and all that kind of stuff as well. But from the fact that it's fast booting, you know, it's working smoothly. We've got basic website access, even if we don't have Flash. So yeah, I like that. I'll be dealing with RISC OS Pi more in the future, I think.